how y'all doing? Just in light of the last video that I posted, I actually wanted to take the time to share my experience and my story with pregnancy and abortion with you all. I hope that you all can be respectful about what I'm getting ready to say, but at the end of the day, everybody has an opinion. You're entitled to it, and you have no heaven or hell to put me in. And so at the end of the day, listen if you will. So when I was 16, I got pregnant for the first time by my manager at Rally's. I was in Hampton High School playing basketball. I was one of 5 children. I have a single mom raised me with no father. My stepdad was in and out of my life, as he was, in and out cheating on my mom, whatever, what have you. And my dad never really confirmed that DNA wise. All right. So first time I got pregnant, I got an abortion. My OBGYN actually told me how I could petition the courts as a minor to have an abortion, right? Because my mom actually was trying to make me have the child. I grew up in a Christian household. We didn't believe in, they didn't believe in it because I believed in righting my wrongs, and I don't believe that I should have to pay for a mistake for the rest of my life. The second time I got pregnant, I was pregnant by an ex-boyfriend who was 10 years older than me. I had met him when I was 13. He was literally 23 years old. So I got pregnant around about like 17 years old. I was getting ready to go to college at Virginia State University. And it was an abusive relationship. I was mentally, physically abused. He pulled my hair out of my hair, slapped me in my face. I had got this guy's name tattooed on me twice. Covered it up twice. But that was a relationship that I should have never even had been in. So when we talk about the mental trauma of going through an abortion now 2 times, fast forward to 21 years old.
Yo, this is too much for me, honestly. It really is, because what I'm basically looking at is a lack of responsibility and a lack of accountability. And I believe that because what she led with was, this is what my background is. My stepfather cheated on my mother, don't know who my father is, all of this stuff, right? But what I know is when I was in high school, a lot of these girls was aware enough to know what they was getting themselves into, even at 16 and 17 years old. So when I see people, and again, I'm not sure if she just telling her story. I'm gonna look at the rest of the story. I want to hear the rest of what she got to say. But when I see people, not saying, what, I was doing dumb junk, I was fucking when I was in school, I was doing all of that. I still don't see the accountability, and so I'm not really sure if she's telling this story in order to warn other people or to give other women an excuse as to why they can do dumb shit and then don't have to take accountability and responsibility for it later on. But I'm going to go ahead and keep playing it and see where she go with this.
Getting ready to graduate college, walk across the stage with my degree. I got pregnant by a guy named Jordan. Literally lied to me, told me that, he didn't think he could have children, and he didn't, ejaculate inside of me and the entire...
Remember, she's 21 at this point. So she's no longer a child. She's now an adult. She is mindful enough to be able to go to college and get a degree, but she's not mindful enough to be able to force somebody to use protection. And honestly, my biggest thing when I hear people talk like this, when I hear women, talk and have these type of conversations, my first thought be, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. You don't never use protection. And so all these years you've been busting it down for a real one. I can't imagine that you don't got something. Aside from the kids, aside from the using babies and eliminating them as a form of contraception, I be so weary of people that have been around the block 80 times and have been with 100 people. I be like, man, what are y'all walking around with? What is in them, in those jeans? I'll be so super aware of what people be like, and I'm like, man, it just ain't never worth it.
Time was just lying, right? We got into an argument, yada yada. He told me to abort my child. I told him I didn't want the child. He paid for the abortion. I went shopping with the money. It was a mess. It was a whole mess. That was number 3. I got pregnant by the same guy again. Yes. Foolish. I know. I got pregnant by that same guy again. Now I'm in grad school and I'm trying to get this second degree in. It's always funny to me how the people, who don't have the means, the money, the house, the car, the job, those are the women that get pregnant. And then the women that don't have or that do have, the means to provide, and they have the degrees and whatever else, the money, and it's like they can't get pregnant. It's just like you come from this nice family and your parents are engineers and, they work at the university, and those like people that have that financial support and that family support, it's like those are the ones that just can't have the children, right? But if you're in a messed up situation, if you don't have a supportive family, your mom, your dad, your siblings, nobody, it's like, wow, how do you get pregnant? And so I think it's just a crazy situation. And I just wanted to share my experience with you all, because after you go through so much trauma, I think that now, like even at the age of 33 right now, like the idea of me,
She's only 33 years old, and she didn't already have 4 of them by 3 different dudes. Sheesh.
carrying a man's child, and the semen altering the DNA in my mind and literally just changing my chemical makeup inside of my body is really scary, and to each his own. Whatever decisions you make, you have to deal with that, and you have to answer to God for that. And it's not nobody's place to burden you or make you feel bad. And so I just wanted to share my story with all of the women out there, and I hope that y'all share this and blast this, and don't eat me up too much in the comments, because I got time today. But I am definitely trying to be as transparent with you all as possible. I have had 4 abortions by 3 different men.
And maybe y'all need to educate me inside of the chat, because I'm a C student, so I'm a little slower than everybody else. But what I'm trying to understand is, what was the objective? She's telling a story. I personally believe in shame. She says that you got to answer to God for whatever it is that you did. Fair enough. But the other side of that is how you influence other people, and whether or not they then think that it's okay for them to be able to recover from some of the bad decisions that they did, because everybody don't necessarily recover. And I'm not even sure if she did, right? She hasn't given a light at the end of the tunnel conversation of don't do what I did. She said none of that. She has not said, she said to each his own. And that is one of the problematic things that come along with women that then tell their story and give other people advice. Is it true? Yep. Is it transparent? Yep. But is there a lack of accountability, and is there a real story to help people not fall in the same pit and a trap that you did because you was fucking when you was younger? I don't hear that part. Maybe it is somewhere in there. Let me see.
4. And it wasn't easy to get here, because now I got this house, and it's like now I have the space for my children, but now I don't have the children, right? And so it's weird how life works out, but it's also made me not even want to have children at all. Like, just the trauma alone and the experience of going through all that I've been through, it has literally made me not even want to deal with the situation. Part of me wants to have a family. Part of me wants to be, big mama, a grandmother, a great grandmother, and just love. And then the other part of me is just like, I already had something ripped out of my womb enough times. It hurts. It's
I can't listen. I'm gonna always put a link back to the content creator in order to give credit. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. It's rough.